Welcome to Geeky Girls Knit. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Damaris, also known as Damaris Dash a bit weird.
And we're glad to have you here today. It is Wednesday, February 27th, and this is episode 27.
Oh, is it?
It is. That's kind of cool.
Okay.
We say a big welcome back to all of our returning viewers and a big hello to our new viewers. I know we've gotten several new members in our Ravelry group this week, and I've met lots of new people on Plurk. So I think we have some new viewers, so we're very glad to have you here today. We are going to do something a little bit different. We're pilfering an idea. The show notes are over here.
Well, pilfers.
That's why I'm looking this way. We're pilfering this idea. I know that Kelly from the Charming Lockie podcast and Claire from Student Knits podcast, and I'm sure there's other podcasts that do this, but we want to mention the members of our Ravelry group who have introduced themselves in the introduction thread on our Ravelry group. And we haven't done this before, so there's a bunch this time, but then hopefully it won't be as many next time, but we still want you to introduce yourself. So, a big hello and welcome to Dartfrog911, who is Sheree in Michigan, A.L. Jokum, which is Alex in Texas, Sheree Hardy, which is Sheree in Texas, A.V. Lore, who is Amy in South Dakota, Stitchin' Out Loud, who is Kat in Texas, Polly81, who is Paul in California, Knittin' Mom, who is Amy in California, Lamb29, who is Laurel, and it says she's from Wilmington. I don't know what Wilmington, though. I just know it's somewhere in the United States. The Yarn Goes On, who is Lisa Marie in Texas, Tanya Levine, who is Tanya in Edmonton, Canada, Abby, A-H-H-B-E-E, who is Abby in West Yorkshire, England, United Kingdom.
Yorkshire.
Okay, she's my corrector. Jordy Bear 614, who is Jordan in Texas, A1 Darwin, who is Ashley in Maryland, just outside Washington, D.C., and finally, Ange is Hip, who is Andrea in Ontario, Canada. So thank you all for introducing yourselves. We're very glad that you're in our group. If you are a member of our Ravelry group and have not introduced yourself, please do so, and we'll mention you in the next podcast. Or if you're new and have not joined our Ravelry group yet, please do so. We will be very glad to have you. This is an announcement to stay tuned to the end of the podcast, where we'll be announcing our March knit-along. I guess it could be a crochet-along. Weave along. Along. So stay tuned to the end of the podcast for all those details, because there will be at least one prize, if not more prizes. All right, I think we're ready to get started, so here we go.
And we are going to talk about what's on our needles. Right now, I still have my Sherlock scarf from last week on it. I need to get lots of progress done because it's for a friend whose birthday was last week.
So I'm going to show you a picture on my Kindle of Benedict Cumberbatch wearing the Sherlock scarf. Hopefully it turns out okay. Let's see.
Can't see the colors really well, but
it's this real dark navy blue, like what Damaris is doing, and she's actually going to write up the pattern for it.
It's just stuck in nice.
I know, but you'll have figured out the stitch count and all that stuff, so other people who might want to make it. So, anything else on your needles?
No.
What? We didn't talk about yarn.
It's Cascade 220 in Midnight Blue? Yes.
Yes. On US 7's 4.5 millimeters.
You put it the wrong way.
Sorry. Okay. So I have made absolutely no progress on my baby blanket design because I was trying to finish another project, which I'll show you in the next section, whatever. But I have made a lot of progress on the shawl that I'm making for my mother-in-law. So the pattern is called Junction, and it's by Lee Meredith. She also goes by Lethal. So here is a picture from the Ravelry page of her with a couple of them, because this pattern gives you lots of options for different sizes.
And colors.
And colors, yeah, you can do lots of stuff. I have made this pattern before. I made it during the Mystery Knit Along back in October. So it's browns with a variegated pink, but also a sequins yarn held with some of the pink. So my mother-in-law wanted brown and pink like mine. So here it is through section 5A. It's bigger than the needles, so it's not spreading very well. So all I have left, peekaboo! All I have left is the last 10 rows across the top, section 5B. And I will be done! And I'm very excited. This is on US 5's 3.75 millimeters. And it's in the Knit Picks Comfy Fingering yarn, which is 75% Pima cotton and 25% acrylic fingering weight. And I'm using 2 colors. This is Bison, and the other is called Peony. So with just those 10 rows to go, I'm hoping to finish it either tonight or tomorrow, so that I'm ready for our group knit along starting Friday. For some reason I thought today was the last day of the month, but it's not. So as long as I have the shawl done by tomorrow, so I can start the hat knit along on Friday. So and I'll have to block it very aggressively because it's got such defined points on the side.
You're going to block it aggressively.
Yes, here I come. I'm going to block you aggressively. Are you scared? So, but I'm hoping that I will finish it tonight so that I can do a little more work on my baby blanket tomorrow before the knit along starts Friday. That's it. That's all that's on my needles. So here we go to the next section. Alright, now we are to finish projects. Her project will get finished.
But not next week.
But not next week. So I have one finished project. This pattern is called Socks on a Plane, and it's done by Laura Linneman, Lala from the Knit Girls. So here's a picture from the Ravelry page so that you can kind of see the cabled definition. So I did my set for these are gifts, it's a gift for a friend. I did them on US 1.5's 2.5 millimeters in the Barocco Comfort Sock yarn in the Beach House colorway. I don't know if you can see the cable on there very well. But it starts right after the toe, right there, and continues all the way up to the cuff. And they are mirrored. So on this one, it's on the opposite side. So when you wear them, you'll have a cable either on the outside of your leg, or you can wear them backwards and have cables on the inside. So those are completed. I loved this pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, so that's definitely a plus. I will be making a pair of these for myself. I'm just not sure what yarn yet. But I loved it. Was a fairly simple pattern because all of it was what's the word? Knitting, all of it. Stockinette, except for the like 10 stitches of the cable repeat. And it was a short row heel with no stitches to pick up for the gusset. So that was kind of different. I had never done that before. And I did have to go in and stitch up a little hole. It was about like right there. On both sides of both of them. But I just stitched it up from the inside. But I really liked the heel. It was a different experience. I hadn't done it that way before. So now these can be sent out to be given to the person who I made them for. And that's my finished project for the week. And hopefully I'll have a shawl for next week. Yep. Alright, on to the next segment. And now it's time for my favorite part of the show. Yummies! Yummies are things that we love about the week, or things that have happened, or things that we've gotten in the mail, or things that make us happy, or things that sometimes are literally yummy to eat or drink. Yummies. You want to go first?
Sure. I found my 20 questions while going through boxes, and it had ran out of battery, so we put new batteries in it. And I was playing with it this morning, and I said, "What should I do for it?" And she said Scotland. So I did it, and it couldn't guess it.
It was really funny.
It's like, can you smell it? Does it weigh more than a duck?
Is it bigger than a bread box? Is it organic?
Does it bring joy to people?
Yes. In case you missed this in the last episode, or if you're new to us, we announced in last week's episode that we are moving to Scotland in August. My hubby, Damaris's daddy, has been accepted into a PhD program in Scotland, and so, Scotland! So that's why I told her to do Scotland.
And it was very condescending at the end. It said I couldn't guess it. How human of me. It's very condescending.
It is a fun game, though, to do.
Yes.
Yes. What else?
We've been watching Buffy and Angel. We're on season 5 of Buffy and season 2 of Angel. Because we alternate them. Because they both aired on the same day. Their episodes. And in case you haven't watched season 5 of Buffy, don't listen. I think Dawn is precious, but she thinks Dawn is evil. I mean, Dawn's a key. How evil can keys be?
Very evil.
Yeah. And also, in season 2 of Angel, Wesley pretending to be Angel.
That was hysterical. And Angel singing karaoke.
Yes, he's been singing karaoke like every episode this season.
It's so funny.
He likes Barry Manilow.
A lot.
Who's singing Randy, because he thinks it's pretty.
You're making the doorknob rattle.
Sorry.
We're sitting in front of the closet door because it's the best backdrop in the room we're in. So, okay, so we have some shared yummies. We've watched more Disney animated movies.
How many Disney How many Disney animated movies can there be?
A lot. So this week we watched The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad and The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
And we decided that we have to go to Paris so we can see the cathedral.
Yes. So we have 2 more Disney movies on the way.
Mulan and what else?
I don't remember.
Well, is Mulan one of them? Do we only have 2 Disney movies left?
I don't know. While I'm looking that up to tell you, Damaris and I participated in our first virtual knit night this week.
I was silent for most of it. I'm not good at talking to people.
It was a lot of fun. We did it. We got the invitation to it through Plurk, where I'm on Plurk now as Geeky Girls Knit. Actually, we're getting The Sword and the Stone and Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
The new Winnie the Pooh.
The 2011 Winnie the Pooh.
Yes. And then we have 4 more. That one's not Disney, is it?
Atlantis is Disney.
It is?
Yes.
Okay. So we have 4 more Disney movies
Wow.
Besides Sword in the Stone and Winnie the Pooh.
Mulan is on very long wait.
So is Jungle Book.
And Tarzan is on long wait.
Yes. But that means Call the Midwife is scooting up the thing, because I do want to watch Call the Midwife before we move, so that I'm caught up for when we're ready to watch British TV in the UK. Anyway, Virtual Knit Night, it was a lot of fun. Got to see some people and talk to them where I've only known them by screen names and stuff before. Enid, our friend Enid, was on there for a while, and Kelly of the Charming Locky podcast was the host, and so they were teaching us about life in the UK and how to pronounce things. That was fun.
I broke the tag.
Oops. So that was a lot of fun. I started rewatching Star Trek Enterprise, which is the... Are you okay?
I'm just thinking of that one episode we walked in on Sunday.
I don't remember which episode it was.
What's his name? Trip?
Trip.
And... you got pregnant.
Oh, where Trip got pregnant, yes. A male pregnancy with an alien species. So anyway, this is the series that was the last one to be filmed and aired, but it in the Star Trek's timeline, it's prior to Captain Kirk.
It's the first one.
It's the first Enterprise.
Chronologically.
And the only Star Trek show with words to the theme song.
See, when she said that, I always thought she was talking about Star Trek: The Next Generation, because Jean-Luc Picard does this whole monologue before the theme song starts playing. No, the theme song to Star Trek Enterprise actually has words that are sung to it. Learn something new every day. I have been watching loads and loads and loads of new to me podcasts. Yarnivore is one of them. I'm trying to remember what else. Fiberista Files, Girlfriends Knitting, His and Hers, Knittables, Single Handed Knits, Sock Bunny Knit and Fit, Wolf Farms, and I have a whole nother list of ones that I still want to watch. So that's been a lot of fun to see some other podcasts and see how they do things, because I only had about 4 or so on my watch list prior to that. So it's been fun trying to catch up a little bit with some of them and just hear the different ways and see the different ways they do things. So we're really enjoying. I'm really enjoying that. Russ and Damaris think it's funny because if I'm watching it and the TV's not on or whatever, I won't put my headphones in, but I watch them on 1.5 times speed, so it speeds up the voice, and they always have things to say about the accents or whatever because I'm watching it in essentially fast forward. So it's kind of funny. And my final yummy, I got a shirt that makes me so happy. Okay. She's wearing it.
I'm going to have to stand up, I think, so you can see the whole thing.
Ow!
Sorry. Okay, so it's the TARDIS with with Tigger from Winnie the Pooh dressed up like the Doctor, wearing a bow tie and a fez. There's a honey pot on the top, and it says, it's supposed to say police, it's the ICE is behind the door, but it says box, B-O-C-S. And the hinges are like Tigger. They're orange with black spots, and the wood is like Winnie the Pooh's house, and it just came in the mail yesterday.
And she made me wear my shirt with a Disney character and TARDIS on it.
Yes.
I said one time only.
She said this is a one-time and one-time only deal. And I said, you don't want to match your mama?
Actually, she said, it's not my fault if you wear your shirt and I'm wearing mine.
I did say that too. But I got this from one of those new t-shirts everyday design places. It wasn't Tea Fury. It was...
Yeetie?
No, I think it was other teas. It came from Poland.
Came from Poland?
Mm-hmm. It got here really fast for coming from Poland. So,
came here yesterday.
Yes, it got here yesterday. I'm so excited. We do have matching t-shirts coming, though, that we just bought this week.
And she's making me wear it with her.
Yes.
One time only.
On the podcast so that y'all could see. But we're not going to tell you what it is because it's fun. And we want it to be a surprise.
Okay, that's it.
That's it? Okay, that's all our yummies. On to the next segment.
Now we're going to talk about what books we're reading, what TV we're watching. We are both reading the same book. She finished it already. I haven't. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, short story collection by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yes. And I've been reading other stuff too. Our microphone is like showing right there. I don't want it to look like you have a big black spot on you. I've been reading some other stuff too, but nothing that's like, oh my goodness, I want to talk about. So if you watched last week's episode, you heard our announcement that we are changing up the way we're talking about TV a little bit. Instead of doing recaps of the things that we're watching, we're just kind of talking about the high points or the low points or what caught our attention or, oh my gosh, who was in there that we know from something else or things like that. So that should make TV go a little faster, and it makes it easier for us, especially with, we got so much going on getting ready for Scotland that we needed to cut back somehow, and so this helped. So, first show, I'm bringing the show notes over here. Arrow, episode 1.15, Dodger. And so it had, from Battlestar Galactica, the guy that played Dr. Gaius Baltar, but he was also in Eureka. He played Dr. Trevor Grant. I can't think of his real name. He played the bad guy in this episode. He was attaching palms.
What's...
Like pom-poms? No, not pom-poms. Bombs to people's necks and threatening to blow their heads off if they didn't steal things for him. I told you he was a bad guy. I was cheering when Diggle asked Carly out and Oliver asked McKenna out. I put a lot of exclamation points.
Yes.
I like exclamation points. And the OMG moment, it literally says OMG in my notes here. Moira was hiring someone to kill Malcolm Merlyn. Barrowman. That's who plays Malcolm Merlyn. So.
Merlin, not Merlin.
No, they say it Merlin.
Oh. That was Malcolm Merlin.
No, they say it Merlin. So the next episode is on tonight. February 27th, episode 1.16, Dead to Rights. Next show, Person of Interest, episode 2.16, Relevance. So this episode really threw me. I had to watch it. Well, most of these things I watch again a second time, because I don't always catch things the first time. Part of that's the fog because of my fibromyalgia. But this one totally threw me because it was dealing with stuff that up until almost like halfway into the episode, we didn't see our regular characters. Or if we did, it was just briefly. It was dealing with a whole new character segment that we hadn't dealt with before. So there was an anomaly in the intro, so that was like, oh my goodness. And now there's another, I'm calling them a numbers team, just like John and Harold get numbers. This other team gets numbers too. So, but then the numbers that John and Harold got was the numbers for this other team. The guy and the girl on the other team. So that was kind of interesting. But then they showed, as the episode went through, like, things were starting to connect and everything. And they faked the death of the woman from the numbers team because somebody was out to kill her. So I think she'll play an important part in future episode. I think she's going to come back and do something. That's what I'm figuring in my mind. Next episode is not until March the 7th. So that's next week. Episode 2.17.
Proteus.
Proteus? Proteus. I'm not sure what that means.
Proteus or Proteus?
I'm not sure what it means. I don't think I've ever heard that word before. Let's see if it brings up anything. It's a Greek god. Okay.
Of?
Something, I don't know, I didn't read the whole thing. Because I don't want them to sit here and have to watch me research stuff. That would be kind of boring for you, wouldn't it? Okay, next up is Elementary, episode 1.17, Possibility 2. You want to say anything?
No. I forgot what happened.
Well, this is the one where they were dealing with the warrior gene.
Oh.
And the faking the DNA results. And this kind of the premise of it was that this scientist had found this gene that if you have the gene, you are very highly probable to come out as a sociopath. And so I said to Damaris as we were watching, I was like, okay, in the other Sherlock, in BBC Sherlock, because this is the American Elementary, I said, in BBC Sherlock, Benedict calls himself a high-functioning sociopath. So I asked her I wonder if he has the warrior gene.
And I said, that's another show.
But they could, connect.
Why?
I don't know. And I don't know when the next episode is. For the next 2 weeks, I think they're reruns. So I'm not sure when we're getting another new episode. I know this was not the finale, but I'm not sure when we're getting another episode. Next show, 0 Hour, episode 1.2, Face. Okay. The mystery storyline is interesting to me. I like mystery books. I like trying to figure out who did it. But overall, this episode was just... So if it doesn't get better this week, next week, the show's going bye-bye for me. Because it didn't keep my interest. I had very little to say about it because it just did not hold my interest. The next episode is tomorrow, episode 1.3, Pendulum. I will try it, see what I think, but it may be getting the axe. You want to talk about Merlin?
Okay, this week was 5.8, The Hollow Queen. I'm still not liking the evil Gwen thing, but it looks like they're going to resolve it in the next episode.
Yeah.
Which is 5.9, With All My Heart, on Friday.
Nope. A week.
Next Friday.
Friday the 8th. I don't know why, for some reason it's not on this Friday. So, yeah, the whole thing with Gwen and Merlin knows and Gaius knows, but Arthur doesn't know that Gwen is evil, and so I'm like, let's just tie up this part of the storyline because it's not interesting me very much. Okay, next up is Bunheads, episode 1.18. The episode was called Next! Exclamation point. This was the season finale. We still don't know if it's been picked up for another season. And also, just as an aside, I handed over the moderator responsibilities in the Ravelry Bunheads group to another lady in the group. Like I said earlier, we're trying to deal with so much stuff with Scotland that I felt like I needed to cut some things. And so I'm still a member of the group, but I'm not going to be moderating the group anymore. So, I love the line that Scotty said to Fanny. Scotty is Michelle's brother, and he asked Fanny if she was a good witch or a bad witch. It made me laugh. And Michelle telling the girls, I want to see her face when she sees you tied flowers to her newly sanded bars. Because Fanny can be not very nice sometimes. I loved the whole audition scene, even though the audition was not... They had already picked who they were doing, and so that was kind of devastating to Michelle, but it was so funny to watch the 4 girls watching her audition, and then them jumping in and dancing during the audition, and it was really funny. I loved that Millie is going to help Truly reopen Sparkles, and it totally cracked me up that Millie and Truly both are interested in Michelle's brother, Scotty.
But then, at the end of the scene, they're just like, nope.
Because they fought over another guy. They fought over Hubble. So, and then the end of the episode was just heartbreaking with Jenny and Michelle talking and the regrets that she has because of what she did with Frankie, and it made me sad for her. So, we're hoping it gets picked back up. We shall see. No news yet. Next up is Continuum, episode 1.7, The Politics of Time. This was a... We didn't get the information until the end of the episode, but Kagame, as the leader of Liberate, was trying to worm his way into politics and being able to influence this political guy, Jim. And so they framed Carlos, who is Kira's partner, for committing a murder, which he really didn't do. So that was kind of the whole thing. But now Kagame and Liberate have it in with the government. And I loved watching Alec trying to fix Kira's suit and being so engrossed in the technology. That was kind of a fun part of the storyline. Next up is episode 1.8, Playtime, on the 4th, which is Monday. And finally, NCIS, episode 10.16, Detour. Bless you. Bless you.
Sorry.
Another one? Here it comes?
No.
No? Okay.
Sorry.
So this episode really centered primarily around Jimmy and Ducky. I thought it was hysterical that McGee has been hiding his concert ticket connection from Tony for years now. That was so funny. And then every time Tony would say something to McGee, he would make it reference a ticket. It was funny. Most hysterical line of the entire episode was Jimmy saying to Ducky, and then Ducky's response, "When you die, I want to dissect your brain." And then Ducky said, "I would consider it a privilege and an honor." It cracked me up. I was laughing so hard. I loved seeing Jimmy and Ducky having to come up with a plan to get out of being kidnapped, and Jimmy babbling on, trying to delay for the explosion to happen, and then the whole thing with the locker key. That was really fun. And rule number 9, never go anywhere without a knife.
I don't have a knife.
I don't either. But that's Gibbs' rule number 9.
My dad has a knife.
Yes. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
What?
Crocodile Dundee. Next
What?
episode of NCIS is episode 10.17, Prime Suspect, and it'll be on the 5th, which is Tuesday. Crocodile Dundee is a movie from a very long time ago, and he's Australian, and he comes to, I think, New York City, I can't remember, a big city here in the United States, and he has his big old knife, and some punk kid pulls a knife on him, and he says, "That's not a knife, this is a knife." There you go. They're random things that come into my brain.
Okay.
And with that, we are done with TV. On to the next section. Oh, I forgot. I'm supposed to be introing this section. Whoops! It's trivia time! This is the final week. The last week's question was the final question for the 8 weeks, 8 questions, 1 winner trivia contest. So, Damaris is going to tell you the question and answer from next week. I'm trying to get the random number generator ready.
Okay.
Go for it.
So last week's question was, in the Doctor Who Series 5 episode, The Beast Below, Scotland refused to do something. What did they refuse to do? And Scotland refused to be part of the Starship UK, instead building their own ship.
Did you get the theme, Scotland? We were giving you a hint last week before we announced it. We only had one person get the answer right this week. That was A1 Darwin on Ravelry. So, we have 60 entries into the giveaway. So, I'm going to enter that into the random number generator. All right. Do you want to do the honors? Do you want to generate the random number?
What button?
That button right there.
Okay.
The winner is... It's number 4.
It says 4. 4.
4.
Score.
Number 4 is...
4 peanuts.
4 peanuts! Yay! I can't remember her first name. People. Hold on, I'm looking you up on Ravelry, because I know your picture. It's because you have pink hair. And I love it. Bean. That's what it says on Ravelry. From California. Woohoo!
Yay.
Yay! Congratulations for being the winner of the 8 weeks, 8 questions, 1 winner challenge, trivia challenge. So we want to show you your prizes.
Okay.
So first off is this amazingly gorgeous scarf that Damaris knitted for you. It's in maroons and greens. It's like 10 different...
pinks.
And pinks. It's like 10 different yarns all in one ball. Where's the tag? This is Alp Oriental yarn.
By Feza.
Feza yarns. It just says color 03. This is 30% acrylic, 30% polyamide, 15% mohair, 15% wool, and 10% metallic yarn.
100% metallic yarn.
I will try to remember to stick this tag in there with it so that you will know how to care for it. But she made you this gorgeous scarf.
Yeah, that's the tag that I accidentally broke. Sorry.
It's a wide one though, so you can wear it lots of different ways.
Okay.
I'm modeling the scarf.
You're gonna stretch it.
All right. So you're getting this. Hold on. Scarf, and you get your choice. Damaris is reaching down to get the other part. You get your choice. One of these 5 books. Okay, so you get to choose between The Yarn Harlot Writes Again, Free Range Knitter by Stephanie Pearl McPhee, Sock Yarn One Skein Wonders by Judith Durant. It's 101 patterns to do with sock yarn. Knitting for Dummies. We're not saying you're a dummy. It's got lots of good reference material, but it also has some patterns and stuff in it. Sensational Knitted Socks by Charlene Church.
Charlene.
Or the Rowan Just Baby pattern book, 19 patterns by Lisa Richardson. So for peanuts, I will send you a PM on Ravelry so I can get your mailing address, and you get to choose one of these books, and we will mail it to you with your scarf. Yay!
Yay!
I think we're going to stop trivia for a little while because we're going to be doing the knit along and doing at least one prize, if not more than one prize with it. So we'll take a little hiatus from the trivia, but we'll pick it back up at some point because I know some of y'all really love trivia. So thank you to everyone who participated, and congratulations for peanuts. All right, we find ourselves at the end of our podcast, but we have some things still to cover. First off, we would like to say a big thank you to Carolyn of the Girlfriends Knitting podcast for the shout out in her podcast. She's really adorable, so check out her podcast. I'll link it in the show notes. Next up, we are right close at 90 members in our Ravelry group, and we have a giveaway at 100 members. So if you have not joined, come join us so that you, being a member of the group, enters you to win a prize. Come. We don't bite. Only chocolate. Okay, March hat knit along. So after the podcast last week, I told Damaris, I said, we should do a knit along. And I wish I had thought of it before we recorded, but I posted on Ravelry and on Plurk and on Facebook and on Twitter and said, hey, would anybody be interested in doing a hat knit along in March? Because I have four hats I need to have done by the first weekend in April. Plus, I need to do some more preemie hats because I was going to do at least 6 this year, and I've only done 1 so far, and it's fixing to be March. So I was like, it would be really fun to have a knit along so that we can kind of encourage each other. So here are the guidelines for the March knit along. They will also be posted in our Ravelry group and on our blog where the show notes are, so that you know. Here are the guidelines. I need a drink of water first. Okay. Any hat pattern at all is acceptable. So we don't have a guideline that says you have to do one of these 5. Any hat pattern, as long as it's knitting, crocheting, weaving, if it's one of the Ravelry crafts, it counts. The hat cannot have been started before March 1st. So you have to start it March 1st or later and finish it by March
31st? 30th.
30th. No, 31st. It's a Sunday. March 31st is the last day. So you have to finish your hat in those 31 days. You can do more than one hat. You can enter as many times as you want, one time for each hat. Feel free to double dip in other knit-alongs. I'm going to mention another knit-along in a minute that you could do, but as long as it meets the rules for both ours and for others, feel free to enter it in other knit-alongs. There's going to be at least 1 prize awarded, maybe more depending on how many people participate. Each hat you finish and post counts as 1 entry into the giveaway. Okay, here is the stipulation rule. If you're not on Ravelry, you need to contact me to make other arrangements to enter the giveaway. Because we still want you to participate. I know there's at least one person like that I've already talked to briefly. So if you're not on Ravelry, you'll need to connect with me when you finish your hat so that we can make sure and get you entered into the giveaway. However, if you are on Ravelry, you have to be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry to participate. There is going to be 2 threads on our group. One is going to be the March hat knit along finished items pictures only thread. So that's where you're going to post the picture of your finished hat, link to your project page or however you want to do it. Because that's where we'll choose our winner or winners from. There will be no chatter in that thread. It'll be only pictures of finished items. The other thread will be the March hat knit along chatter thread, so that we can talk about what patterns you're doing and encourage each other and everything. So you have to post your finished photo of each hat in the Ravelry thread, 1 hat per post. But if you do 5 hats, enter 5 times. That's fine. And you need to tag your project page with the following tag. It's long. Look on the show notes or look on Ravelry because I'll have it there so you can copy and paste it. It's GGK Geeky Girls Knit, GGK 2013 March Hat KAL. So I'll put that on Ravelry and on our show notes so you can copy and paste that. On the morning of April 1st, when I wake up, I will close the thread for pictures. So you need to make sure and get your pictures in the 31st or early in the morning on the 1st to be entered into the drawing. And then we will draw for prize or prizes on the next podcast, which will be like the 3rd of April or something. So we'll draw for prizes. I already told you about the chatter thread. Now, Carolyn from Girlfriends Knitting Podcast that I mentioned a couple minutes ago, she is having a knit-along in her group of patterns that she has designed herself. 2 of those patterns are hat patterns, and if you knit either or of those, you can enter them in our knit along, our hat knit along, and also her girlfriend's knitting design knit along in her group. She's offered us a coupon code though for $1 off. And these are the 2 hat patterns that will work. They're both baby hats. This first one is called Cats in the Cradle. So there's looks like a little bit of lace, and I'm guessing that's probably an I-cord flower on it. And the other one is called Little Boy Blue, and it looks like it's a fairly simple hat, but it's got a cable pattern on it. So I will put a link to both of those patterns along with the coupon code. So if you want to get one of these hats or both and knit them, you can enter them in our knit along and also in Carolyn's. If you have any questions, feel free to post in the chatter thread. As soon as we're done recording and I do the show notes, I'll start the thread so that when this goes live, you'll be able to see it and be able to ask questions if you have them. And we hope lots of you will participate because it's going to be a lot of fun. Starts on Friday, March the 1st. I think that's about it. If you want to find us online, we're lots of places. You want to tell them?
Let's not list them all.
Okay, well tell them where the main thing is.
Ravelry.
I was talking about our show notes.
And geekygirlsknit.blogspot.com.
So geekygirlsknit.blogspot.com, and there's links to everything else there. I'm new on Plurk. I've only been on Plurk a little over a week, so if you're on Plurk, come friend me, Geeky Girls Knit. And feel free to connect with us all the rest of the ways that are on the website. This has been a little bit of a long episode. We had lots of details to do with the knit along, so and the giveaway. We want to say a big thank you to everyone who has sent us such sweet comments and messages and tweets and Facebook and everything congratulating us on our upcoming move to Scotland. We're very excited. And yes, we do plan to continue podcasting in Scotland. So we hope we can show you some exciting sights and things that happen and we enjoy while we're living over there. We may have to take a brief hiatus when we move, but we will let you know that closer to move date in August. That's a wrap, I believe, for episode 27. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week. Happy knitting. Bye. Peace.